Happy Labor Day. Last week, I did a series of 5 videos, one on each on a solution to major problems facing the United States. Monday was healthcare, Tuesday was the economy and the financial system, Wednesday was the threat from Iran and North Korea, Thursday was making college affordable, and Friday was about elementary and secondary education. But I thought today I'd give, and they're all archived on my site, but I thought today I would talk a little bit about what's right with America and why this country is better positioned for the future than any other country in the world by far. First of all, what's right with this country? The people in this country work a lot harder than they do in any other country. They're upwardly mobile. They're committed to self-advancement. The ownership of business in this country is so widely diffused. So many small businesses, medium-sized businesses. The fear that we used to have that a few mega companies would have a stranglehold is proven to have been completely illusory. Technology put the opportunity to become successful and modern and current at the hands of individual entrepreneurs and small businesses, and basically made it impossible for there to be a monopoly concentrated in a few large firms. In addition, our energy supplies are fantastic. Because of fracking and because of the Republican success in stopping government from banning fracking, the United States is about to become the global supplier of oil. We're about to become the new Saudi Arabia. And while eventually we will grow with renewable resources, we have been very, very effective now in transferring the locus of power in the world from the Middle East to the United States. And it is wonderful that democracy and freedom are the place the oil is found, not in some horrible autocracy in Sharia law country. That process is about a quarter of the way through, but it's inevitable and will continue. Even the Saudis recognize that. And the freedom in the United States, which is totally without parallel in any other country in the world, really gives us an opportunity for exchange of ideas, for new thinking, for creativity. The vast majority of the patents in the world are in the United States. The technological and scientific breakthroughs are here, and the intellectual firepower is here, and the critical mass is here, and the economic freedom to exploit that without government control. Even in countries like Germany and Japan and France and Britain and Italy, the government is so heavy-handed that individual entrepreneurs can't even get started. It has to all be done by the industrial behemoths, and they're not creative and not nimble, and they don't move quickly. The other thing is, of course, every other country in the world is in vastly worse shape. Japan, which was supposed to be the superpower of the future, has been frozen for more than 20 years of economic stagnation because every major decision in the country is controlled by special interest groups there. You can't build cheap housing because the banks have high interest rates and they won't lower them, and there's a ban against using American lumber and the Japanese timber companies won't let them in. Half of the space is uninhabitable, but large portions of the rest are held in large land tracts that people won't let go, and so on and so on. Everything in Japan is controlled by a special interest. The government has no power over them, and it's essentially a feudal country. China, 40% of the country is peasants. They live on $2 a day or less. And 75% of the capital goes to the state-owned enterprises that provide less than 20% of the employment. They're large behemoths that are not innovative, that are in industries like power and steel and stuff, where there really isn't a big question of innovation. And almost all of the economic growth has been from private companies the government opposes. And bear in mind that 60% of China's exports and 80% of China's tech exports are done by foreign-owned companies, usually American-owned. China is a colony of the United States economically, and of Taiwan, and of Japan, and of other countries. And in terms of the military, there isn't a large government revenue base for the military. The military can have some showcased weapons and a large army in terms of number of soldiers, but ultimately it's not well funded because China can't afford to. and the demographics of China are hopeless. You're going to have a vast preponderance of men over women and a tremendously aged population that isn't going to be competitive with the United States, which keeps getting younger thanks to immigration. And Europe, the immigrants are not assimilated. They're kept completely separate. The European Union makes growth almost impossible, and they're living on borrowed time and borrowed money, and it's a question of time before the euro crashes and before all of South Europe falls apart. Germany probably still survives. Scandinavia does. Britain is separate enough, but none of them can challenge the United States. This is still the country. And we're predicting very tough times for the United States ahead, both because of the natural rhythms and because of Obama. But bear in mind that this is still the country. Thanks for watching.